In the 18th century, most women had jobs and lives that you would expect. While young, they were considered property of the father, and later property of the husband.
Few women were educated and remained doing household chores and taking care of the children, although some worked as innkeepers or occasionally as a shopkeeper.
The most privileged women tended to be widows, for they had the ability to own property if there were no male heirs. Yet besides that, women had very little power.
Just like every war, however, women had to pick up the slack left by their fathers, husbands, and sons fighting in the front lines.
Women in the upper class tended to stay at their homes and take over the jobs left behind, since there was more of a possibility of them being educated. Yet many of the lower class women who were not educated and could not land on their feet ended up following their husbands to war, being known as camp women.
While many camp women were despised by the leading commanders on the field, they had an instrumental part in affecting the roles of women during the war.
Most camp women would cook and do laundry, but the most important thing they did was nurse.
Prior to the Revolutionary War, nursing was seen as a male's job, but as more and more women helped out at the camps, the trend began to change and shift to a mainly female-dominated job, which is still visible to this day.
Not all women nursed, however. Probably one of the most famous camp women was Molly Pitcher, named that because she reportedly ran into the battlefield with pitchers of water for the soldiers. It is also rumored that when she saw her husband fall, she took his spot on the battlefield.
Molly Pitcher most likely didn't exist, however, or she may have been a combination of stories of many different women. Another famous legend would be Nancy Hart, who reportedly got 5 or 6 redcoats drunk and killed them in the Georgian backwoods.
While some women were more legend than reality, many were definitely real. For example, Esther Burt organized the Ladies Association of Philadelphia, which provided aid to American troops.
Most famously, Abigail Adams wrote in a letter to her husband, John Adams, encouraging him to advocate for women's rights and mainly to give women the right to divorce at their choosing.
In the end, one of the main improvements made during the Revolutionary era was an increase of education for women, partly thanks to the backing from Ye Olde Benny Boy.
From Ye Olde Benny Boy.
Ye Olde Benny Boy. Ye Olde Benny Boy.
But slavery and women's rights were hot topics in Republican thought, since it was really focused on the freedoms and rights of people. Yet social norm didn't allow for a huge change in either, at least at that time.
Some laws were passed that gave women more rights, such as the right to vote for women who met the property requirements in the state of New Jersey, but soon it was appealed in 1807.
In conclusion, women made huge strides during the Revolutionary War, but the government wouldn't make any changes to the social standings of women until after the Civil War.
Also, remember to stream Lover by Taylor Swift. Stream Lover by Taylor Swift. Lover by Taylor Swift. It's a great album. You should listen. Stream Lover by Taylor Swift.